Good afternoon. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday afternoon. So far, you're just in time for NEWSFEED here on TV 47. I am Muthoni Maina. Starting off, the fight against COVID-19 in KAKAMEGA County has received a major boost after the KAKAMEGA County government confirmed that it had received another consignment of the AstraZeneca vaccine. This will ensure majority of residents are vaccinated against COVID-19. KAKAMEGA Governor WYCLIFFE OPARANYA noted that the doses will be distributed to sub-county public hospitals for easy access by those willing to be vaccinated and called on residents to turn up in large numbers to receive the jab. Speaking in Butere sub-county during a burial ceremony, OPARANYA also urged Kenyans to strictly adhere to the COVID-19 protocols put in place by the government to combat the spread of the virus.
Chanjo tafadhali. Ukiwa zaidi ya miaka 40. Afadhali uende uchukue hiyo chanjo, na ile ambayo tuko nayo saa hii ni ya kuenda mara pili. Saa hii tumepata chanjo kutoka kwa national government, na hii wiki ijayo tutasambaza katika hizi sub county. Hapa inakuwa pale Butere. Na hiyo chanjo ni ya bure. Naenda unapata chanjo, wanakuambia wakati utarudi. Unaenda mara pili. Lakini tuna ile Johnson & Johnson ambayo inakuja mwezi ujao, ile utapata mara moja na uketi nyumbani.
Now on to education matters, as CS Professor George MAGOHA has warned secondary school heads against sending students home over non-payment fees. According to the CS, parents with fee arrears should be given time to pay instead of sending their children home, thus disrupting their learning. MAGOHA was speaking at Motomo Primary School in Gatondo South, Kiambu County, where he distributed items donated by Ahadi Kenya to help pupils to stay safe from the COVID-19 infections, as well as sanitary towels for girls.
Bathe with clean water and soap every day. Apply petroleum jelly if possible.
They are available to be used. Hana nail, so it is not to use. Bye. So very nice.
Umepotea. Tukisema tuweke lens mtashuka.
How many are in the back like this?
Sisi tutaweka
Other ministry of Interior and Coordination of the national government through chiefs, through the county administration, every child must and we shall take to school. A child has no capacity to decide that the child is not going to school. And if we find that we unakunywa pombe tu na watoto waendi shule, we will ask you to visit us in a police station. As a parent, it is your duty to ensure that the child is made available, because we shall come for the child from your house. In terms of what? Because education is the only thing that will change this country.
Moving on, TURKANA County has been ranked as the poorest and most unequal devolved unit in the country. Residents are angered by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report, blaming the county government for their woes, and as Kitiomika reports, majority of residents cannot afford basic necessities like safe drinking water, with better health care just a mirage to residents.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Turkana County is the poorest county in Kenya by 79.4%, which residents are angered by the revelations.
Pesa zinakuja zinapotelea county. Maji hata iko hapa barabara hii hewani ya kwenda Gold, lakini Chinese akichimba kidogo anapata maji. Lakini gari ya county ikikuja wanasema hakuna maji. Sasa watu wamejenga hospitali kubwa huko, hakuna hospitali hapa. Watu wamejenga hospitali kubwa huko. Yaani gavana wetu hapa ndiye ako na shida. Hospitali ukienda mtu anakufa kama hujui daktari hauwezi kutibiwa bila pesa, bila kadi.
The residents have attributed this to poor leadership, citing water scarcity, quality of education for children, health care, and basic infrastructure as their biggest challenges.
Tai maji ile tunakunywa ni chafu. Tena ni kidogo na hiyo ikiisha hiyo maji ile iko na furaganyi huko karibu na Kichogyo. Sisi naomba serikali atusaidie kabisa.
KISII kuja bana, kuja tumeumia. Ingia kwa ofisi one by one. Ujue hii ofisi ya works inafanya nini? Hii ministry inafanya nini? Ma ministry watu wanapuja pesa kwa ma ministry.
However, Oil and Minerals CS John Munyes and Loima Member of Parliament Jeremiah Lomrukai condemned Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok of a poor leadership, calling on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC to launch a probe into the matter.
You know, a county government that is getting all the money, the second highest allocation in the country, cannot even rank number 10. We are ranking number 1 in poverty index with all the billions. Many counties are beating us and they're getting so little.
Na tunataka watu wa EACC, hizi pesa tumepokea juzi, that money must be followed immediately. Tujue pesa hizo zimeenda wapi.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Turkana County is absolutely poor, with the majority of households unable to meet basic needs such as food, shelter, safe drinking water, education, and health care. Kitio Mika, TV47 Lodwar in Turkana County.
Thank you, Mika, for that insight report on Turkana. Now, moving on, it has been 3 decades since the first case of HIV was reported in the country. Tremendous inroads have been made through skilled prevention and treatment of infections. However, the stigma attached to the syndrome still flourishes. Our reporter Violet Auma spent time with people living with HIV in KAKAMEGA County, and as she reports, majority of patients have been shunned by the society due to their HIV status, forcing others to commit suicide.
Yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anatamka akisema vivo, hata kama nakufa, madaktari wa Butere ndio wanafanya mimi nafanya nini? Naenda kukufa. Na ni kweli alikufa, ni huyo hapa.
She cries uncontrollably as she remembers the death of her husband. Salome, not her real name, narrates to me her story.
Aliamuka tu vizuri. Akakunywa, huwa napiga uji hapo, uji ya wimba hapo kwa nini. Sasa ndiye alikunywa tu kidogo, baadaye akafanya nini? Katoka. Sasa kutoka kumbe ndiye anazunguka, anaenda kujitia kitanju huko. Jua hiyo masandi anamezanga dawa ya asubuhi. Hiyo dawa hakuna.
She tells me she lived a blissful life with her husband even after the news of their positive status knocked at their doorstep.
Akasema tu mimi kama madaktari wanaona nimewachoka kwa hospitali. Wanaona wengine wako wenye watapewa madawa. Mimi yangu huko Butere naona kama inafanya nini? Inaisha. Nikimuuliza inaisha aje? Wiki 2 imeisha sina madawa. Na nimeenda huko tena wamenirudisha ati ningoje paka siku yenye watapiga simu.
She will frequently remind him to take his ARVs. Her late husband earned a living by doing menial jobs.
Anameza asubuhi saa 2 na kuna yenye anameza jioni saa 2. Hiyo nayo ni hata watoto wake walikuwa wamejua. Anasikia baba, masaa ndio imefika. Umeza dawa. Hata huyo mtoto wake msichana anakimbia anamletea dawa.
Hell broke loose when her husband's health started deteriorating, reason being lack of ARVs.
Amekufa wiki 2 kama hana madawa kwa nyumba. Akiendanga wanamfukuza. Akienda wanamfukuza.
Rejection from the society took a toll on her husband, a man that was once jovial and happy became an introvert.
Unaona tu mwili yake iko active. Lakini kukosa hiyo dawa, hata mzee wangu pia alikuwa ameanza kuchange sura, unaona mwili kama inabadilika, anakuwa mnyonge.
On the morning of 22nd March 2021, the unimaginable happened. He committed suicide.
Na hata ananiacha hivyo. Na watoto wenyewe mimi hata sijui nitafanya kwa watoto wenyewe. Yeye ndiye alikuwa kichwa kwa nyumba. Kila kitu ni yeye. Bana.
The sole breadwinner of the family of 3 was later buried here on 22nd March 2021. She believes stress and depression that emanated from lack of ARVs and rejection from both society and healthcare workers pushed her husband to an early grave.
Kifo yake ni madawa juu ndio alikuwa tu analia. Pia alikuwa amejielewa mwili yake, bila hiyo anajisikia mwili hajisikii vizuri.
49-year-old Alice Vahuya has been living with HIV for 30 years. The mother of 3 from Shikangu village, Butere sub-county, was diagnosed with the disease in the year 2002. She was only 19 years at the time. Taking drugs every day has become her new normal, a routine she's well accustomed to.
Nilisimama, nilitaka nipigiwe kura ya ukansela wakati huo 2007. Watu walikuwa wananiambia hadharani, hii ni kaburi. Hatuna nafasi ya kufanya by election hivi.
She's now an ambassador of hope for those infected and affected with HIV in the area. She says stigma is rife here.
Hata kama kuna uhamasisho, lakini stigma bado iko. Kwa sababu utapata kwamba wakati mwingine yule ambaye anaishi na virusi vya ukimwi akipata ujauzito, yale maswali na zile huduma ambazo mtu hupata inakuelekeza kwamba kumbe haukustahili kupata ujauzito.
Hapana, kutambuliwa.
52-year-old Beatrice Mtevano is living with HIV and she has accepted her HIV status.
Nianza kukosa madawa, napewa dawa ya wiki 2. Hasa hapo ndio mimi nasikia uchungu kuendanga hospitali hiyo period ya kwenda na watu tuko na mashughuli mingi.
A journey she says is full of ups and downs.
Mimi ni mmoja wao, nilikuwa nasema badala niendenge huko nikipewa hizi dawa ya wiki 2. Si niwachane tu na dawa kumeza na nikae.
However, Beatrice is not the only one affected by stigma. Maria and Anne, not their real names, have felt the monster from the service providers in a facility they pick their ARV drugs from.
Dawa na kunywa tu kama kawaida, lakini siku ile ambaye natakana kurudi huko, nakuwa mgonjwa. Nakuwa mgonjwa, yani nafikiria tu vile nitaenda hapo, ukienda hapo ukiangaliwa tu, si as if these nini drugs zenye wanapeana, yani it is just as a favor.
Changamoto yenye mimi naona Butere ni lack of confidentiality.
They opened up and shared their experiences.
Saa zingine kama umechelewa kama hujaenda ile siku tu yenye ulikuwa unatakana kukuja, wanakufuza, wanakuambia urudi, maybe wanaweza kupatia dawa hata moja, wakwambia urudi the next day, ama wasikupatie dawa yoyote.
Unajua somebody becoming positive sio kupenda kwake. Labda uli contract kutoka kwa your partner, mwenye huku mtuma aende atafuta akulete.
They reveal they are forced to skip taking drugs on some days for the drugs to sustain them till the next clinic date.
Zingine unameza tu ukipima, hata unazea nimeze nirukeko kesho tena ndio nimeze hiyo siku nyingine. Yani it is me and me alone. Sina hata mtu wa kulilia. Utalilia nani?
Magonjwa, kuna magonjwa yale yanatokelezea tu, huwezi zuia. Unaweza kuwa na typhoid, sio kwa sababu umekosa kumeza dawa. Unaweza kuwa na malaria, sio sababu umekosa kumeza dawa. Na hizo zote zina affect kinga ya mwili.
Scared by the stigma, many melt away from the praying eyes of the public. Even with life-saving drugs available to them, stigma is one barrier they must conquer. Despite government efforts to fight stigma among people living with HIV, more needs to be done to assist HIV patients who are susceptible to other infections. Program Manager of HIV, AIDS and STI Control at KAKAMEGA County, Dr. Mike Ekisa, acknowledged that stigma is an impediment to war against HIV and AIDS.
Who was found to have committed suicide from Butere sub-county. This was a client who was on treatment in Butere County Hospital. So maybe to put a few facts clear about this client, as we still discuss this matter of stigma. This was a client who was a frequent defaulting behavior from treatment in Butere. So he would come to treatment, abscond, the team looks for him. He comes back, we miss him.
He says county government has rolled down programs to sensitize the community on HIV and AIDS amidst the coronavirus pandemic.
When you show attitude and behavior that discriminates persons living with HIV, you could easily push them away from life. You could push them to stop their treatment. So it's good to educate the public that where we have reached in 2021, when people who live with HIV take their ARV, they are safer than you, and you would not know your status.
Statistics from National AIDS and STI Control Program shows currently Kenya has 1.5 million people living with HIV, with more than 40,000 new infections recorded annually. The report also indicates that 20,997 people die yearly due to HIV and AIDS-related ailments.
Lakini saizi ni wewe na dawa na yule ambaye anakupatia. No any other thing.
Despite numerous campaigns by the government to have people test and know their HIV status, stigma continues to hinder from taking that step. Violet Hauma, TV47, Kakamega.
Thank you, Violet, for that report. Indeed, may we all learn and accept to live with persons of HIV instead of shunning them away from the society. Now it's time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we roam the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njogona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not.
Welcome back. Now, families whose loved ones have died in hospitals after being neglected by hospital staff for failing to pay medical bills will be compensated should Parliament pass a bill introduced to the floor of the House by Bumula Member of Parliament Mwambu Mabonga, addressing residents at Siyombe Primary School where he launched new classes for pupils. Mabonga put hospitals on the spot for prioritizing money at the expense of sick patients in need of medical attention.
This building in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Sawa. Shombe CK Primary. Nimeleta mswada na mswada wangu unasema hivi, tayari umekuwa published in the parliament. Ni pengine serikali tu ifurute because kuna pesa zinahitajikana. Nasema hivi, kama wewe ni mgonjwa na uingie hospitali na wakunyime matibabu, iwe katika hospitali ya serikali, iwe katika private hospital, na ukufia hapo ama uumie ukiwa hapo, huyo mtu analipa gharama. Na hiyo tukipitisha, na nakwambia wabunge wameiunga mkono, people will be responsible. Hospitali yoyote katika taifa hili, na hii ndio inafanyika kwingine, lazima we must bring it back home. Hiyo mwili wakuite, msikisane, mwili iende isikwe. Wasiweke mwili kwa mochari kama itatani kuwa property au plot wauze. Hapana, mwili wachiliwe iende nyumbani. Yes. Na hiyo wabunge najua wataweka mkono.
Now, police in Boitangare village, KISII County, have launched a probe into the matter of a teacher in the area. The body of the primary school teacher was retrieved Friday from a river a day after he was reported missing. Patronila Goren reports.
Addressing the press Friday, Ruth Oenga, wife of the deceased, recounted how she got home on Wednesday evening, prepared dinner and waited for her husband in vain. According to the nephew of the deceased, the 47-year-old teacher at Riosoti Primary School was a kind-hearted person who had no enemies.
Kumba alifika kwa nyumba na akatoka. Sasa venye alitoka akapotea hivyo. Kafika usiku, anti akakuja akatuita, tukaanza kumtafuta. Tukaita majirani, tukamtafuta usiku kuja hatukumuona. Ndio simu ikakuja ati kuna mtu amepatikana kwa mtoni. Kukimbia huko, nilikuwa mtu wa kwanza kufika huko. Nilipata tu si eti ni maji ilimpeleka. Ni kama aliuliwa akawekwa kando ya mto kwa maji tu.
KISII County Police Commander Francis Kooli has confirmed the incident, saying they have launched probe into the matter and the investigating officers are waiting for an autopsy report to ascertain the cause of death, noting that the body of the deceased did not have any physical injuries. The body of the deceased has been moved to Namache Sub-County Hospital mortuary. Patronila Goren, TV47.
Heartfelt condolences to the family. Now, hospitals in the county are facing an acute shortage of oxygen supply. These as a number of COVID-19 patients continue to rise, majority of whom are from neighboring counties of Siaya, Kisumu, Vihiga, and Busia. Health CEC Collins Mateba says 2 oxygen plants have been overwhelmed by the high demand of oxygen.
Mega has had a serious shortage of oxygen. Now, despite the fact that we have 2 plants that generate oxygen, our consumption has outstripped the production. The 2 plants can produce a total of 530 liters of oxygen per minute. But unfortunately, our main COVID center, which handles critical patients, and it is sited at KAKAMEGA County General Hospital, requires high oxygen flow, the nature of the patients. So what we produce is not enough to sustain. In most cases, more than almost half of the admissions have been residents outside KAKAMEGA County, either from Kisumu, Siaya, Vihiga, or elsewhere. But you know, we are like brothers and sisters. It's the Lake Region economic bloc, because even you, if you fell sick, and assuming you are in Kisumu, you will not rush back to Kakamega, you will perhaps be accommodated in Kisumu. So that's why we have also been admitting patients from outside. And that has also put the strain on our neutral capacity.